Hello and welcome to the Geeks of the Round. I'm your host, Matt Moore, and we are here discussing The Flash, episode 219, I believe, back to normal. And so let's introduce the panel. Charles, what did you think of the episode? Lou, what did you think of the episode? I remembered you this time.
This episode was weak, but not that weak. Flash was... Oh, dude, honestly. We could sum up this episode in like 5 sentences.
Okay.
It was boring. 3 words. Yeah.
I want you to leave, Dad, and don't come back. Oh, they kidnapped my daddy. I got to help him be saved.
Yeah, that was a little weird. And then, of course, the stuff that was going on between Caitlin and Killer Frost, and I'm like, dude, why the hell would you trust Killer Frost? Yes, she's you from Earth 2, but she's also an evil meta-human. You can't trust her, even if she is you.
All right, so here's the story that basically starts out. Barry, of course, still has no powers from the last episode because apparently Harrison Wells did not betray Zoom like we were, or at least I was really hoping was going to be the case. Which means that Barry really was a fucking idiot for trusting Zoom.
No, Barry's problem is he hasn't tapped into the Speed Force yet.
Okay.
Shit.
But... so he's living life without powers, and we get to see like how dreadfully dull all of our lives are through Barry's eyes, because we can't zip through the city. No, we have to take the bus and drive cars and walk and like it happens to us.
Sit next to an annoying man watching cat videos.
Yes, exactly. And then we end up having Wells, who's looking for his daughter. He finds his daughter. His daughter's all like, fuck you, leave. Then we end up having a supervillain who is pissed off at Harrison Wells because he thinks he actually is the Harrison Wells that caused him to have superpowers. Which, of course, they end up fighting by killing him, by making him exert himself a lot. Which I think is, kind of bullshit. Instead of, trapping him in one of those containment pods, no, let's just use your powers, make you use your powers until you die. That kind of upset me a little bit. Hunter Zolomon basically revealed that he was in love with Caitlin, which is why Killer Frost was there. Caitlin tries to get Killer Frost to help her break out, which is bullshit. It's like, oh, you can't climb down the cliff? There is 1,000,000 miles of rope around there. You use some of it, 1,000,000 miles of cord around there. You use some of it to break Killer Frost out. Use that and climb down the fucking cliff, bitch.
Yeah, she doesn't have the upper body strength to do that.
You don't have to have the upper body strength to do that. Just fucking set up a lever. She's a fucking scientist. She should know how a lever works.
She's not a bright scientist.
And apparently Killer Frost dropped out of med school. Or failed med school.
Killer Frost dropped out of med school, but she seems to be intelligent enough. Killer Frost betrays her, tries to kill her. Zoom saves her, and then she tries to convince Zoom to bring her home, and he's all like, you know what? Fuck it, I will, as I'm taking it over.
Boom, end of episode.
Boom, end of episode. So, next week, we are going to be... Oh, shit. We got to talk about this more, don't we?
No, we don't.
What did we like about the episode? Let's talk about what good things happened in this episode. I'm trying to think.
I got nothing.
I
got nothing. Yeah.
And what's bad is the episode itself was not the worst. Wasn't even like was not the worst. It just was just blah the entire episode. There was nothing. Good about it. There was nothing really bad about it. It was just blah.
Why hasn't Cisco just put the fucking goggles on and actually fight fucking He-Man Because he could have.
He-Man.
You know, Cisco and Daisy kind of have the same power as far as with their hand.
Yeah.
He could have easily stopped fucking, what did they call him? He-Man was one of the names, but there was something else.
Gabriel, no, it wasn't, Griffin Gray. Sorry, Gabriel Gray was the dude from Heroes.
Oh, but they didn't give him a name. Okay, so yeah, they just left him alone as Griffin. But let's be real, dude. Cisco is like being a bitch.
That's just it. That is something I want to see in a story, and if we do see it in a story, I want us to see it in the very next episode. Don't give Barry his well. We know he's going to probably get his powers back in the next episode because we've seen the previews. However, what if they try and give him his powers back, they fail, and then so they're like, okay, Cisco, we need you to actually learn how to use your fucking powers.
Seriously, he should have already been learning how to use his powers.
Yeah. But he's scared of his powers because he doesn't want to turn into Reverb. It's like, you know what? Like, we need you to step the fuck up.
I think Caitlin being with her doppelganger is going to make her explore other avenues.
Maybe. What else? Was there anything that we really disliked about this episode?
Wally.
Oh, you know what?
Stuff that was going on with.
We didn't really talk about Wally. There's that too. Wally wanted to talk to the Flash. What again?
No,
Go on, Charles.
I was just going to say, I was hoping that the whole situation with why Wally was looking for the Flash was going to be somehow connected to Wally obtaining his powers as a speedster, but just to meet up with him and say, like, oh, I just want to thank you for saving my life, and then Flash goes like, oh, okay, you're welcome, turns around, walks away, end of scene. And I'm like, what was the fucking point of that?
The point of that was he's going to now do even better to make that little doohickey for that car that he's building, and that's what's going to give him his speed.
Which is very.
To be honest, I got a theory about that. I got a theory about that, and I will get into it during Wild Speculation.
I was going to say is that in the comics, Wally West was a huge, gigantic Flash freak who, like, knew everything there was to know about Flash, who was, like, worshipped at Flash's feet before before he was told, oh, by the way, Barry Allen, who at the time was his stepfather, is the Flash, or his adopted father, or something like that. But he didn't know that at first. He worshipped Flash long before that, and I think that that's what we're going to get, is we're going to get a Wally West who is just, oh my God, everything Flash, who's just a Flash fanboy left, right, and center, who is going to have a similar accident to the Flash. But if that's going to happen, we need to give him more time. We need to not give him powers until at least the end of this season.
That's why I say I think season finale we get the reveal of the Man in the Iron Mask.
Uh-huh.
And most likely something's going to happen with Wally West where he gets his power. Towards the tail end where that's going to be the big mystery going into season 3.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're going to give Jessie Quick her power.
I love that they actually called her Jessie Quick in this episode.
Well, it was her daddy.
Previously, she was just Jessie.
But, you know, dude, there was really nothing of excitement.
Yeah. And, I don't know. I do have a wild speculation, though. This is going to be, obviously, a quick hangout. I do have a wild speculation. One that I thought of, like, literally right after last week's episode. And I should have said it then. I have an idea of who the Man in the Iron Mask is.
Share it.
The Black Racer.
The who?
The Black Racer. Death.
We already know who it is.
No, we don't.
It's Jay Garrick, the real Jay Garrick. The real gauge Jay Garrick.
No, we don't.
That's who it is. I mean, it was pretty much confirmed in that moment where Barry and Jesse were still in the cages, and he was doing the whole thing with that special prisoner.
This is last week. That was not a verification that it was Jay Garrick. He spelled out Jay Garrick, but there was no question asked. They didn't ask, who are you? And he tapped out Jay Garrick. No. He just randomly tapped out Jay Garrick. As in, Zoom is Jay Garrick. Like, he was giving Zoom's identity to them.
But we will find out.
You know, I got a theory about who it is. I got a theory who it is.
Can I finish my theory?
Zoom came in.
Let me finish.
Yeah, go in.
Let me finish my theory. There's a little bit more. I think it is Death. That is why he said, when asked who is the man in the iron mask, he said, you wouldn't believe me if I told you. Is because I think it is the Black Racer. And I think that he has him trapped because Jay Garrick realizes that, Zoom realizes that if the Black Racer is out there, that he himself, there's the possibility of him dying. Because he is dying. And
well, Caitlin said he was
can't die if Death isn't out there to kill him. To reap him, as it were.
Well, my theory is that the Man in the Iron Mask is actually Barry Allen's father, and that Zoom came in to Earth 1 and kidnapped him.
Okay.
And I think that's what's going on here. And then, of course,
we see Barry.
To my theory about okay. You know what? Damn it! That's right. Yeah, I did see the preview for next week. So fuck. There goes my theory. All right, but now I'm gonna lean on my other theory about how Wally gets his powers. I think Wally's gonna get his powers as early as next week, because Harry had pretty much said that he wants to replicate the particle explosion, the particle generator explosion, and I think it's going to create a whole new slew of metahumans, and Wally West will be affected.
I don't know. That is interesting.
I could see it, but I think they're
don't
doing
have any way
it.
of shooting it down quite quickly, except for the idea that, of course, they would try to do everything they could to prevent that. But what if Wally West were really, really, really close by when it happened? Somehow he ends up wandering into a place where he shouldn't be. I could see that shit happening.
The way I see it going down is that they're going to do the same type of particle accelerator, but in a much, much smaller fraction to where it's only contained with Barry.
Yeah.
At least that's the impression we're getting.
Damn it.
But your theory doesn't pan out. It doesn't mean the bad thing because
it doesn't suck.
It doesn't suck because you could be right.
Suck. Most of them do. This one does not.
It could actually.
Oh
pan
yeah,
out
you know,
way.
screw you, assholes.
I'm just making fun, Charles.
And the sad thing is, Charles, I know about
Yes, I
that
realized that.
last night.
You knew about
Yeah,
what?
so did I, because I watched Flash last night. And
I watched the previews last night
Oh,
for Shield and to Flash, and I still hadn't watched them until later today.
Okay. So do we have any other wild speculation?
Lucifer.
Nope.
Lou?
No.
All right. Well, in that case, I want to thank everyone for watching this very brief hangout. This was The Flash. Of course, you can watch this hangout and many others like it at geeksoftheround.com or youtube.com/geeksoftheround. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. Also, give us a call, 801-609-4687. That's 801-609-GOTR. Leave us a message. Ask us a question. We'll play it on air and respond. All right. I want to thank everyone for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.